environmental finding last week.
A coalition of health and environmental organizations are suing the EPA following the agency's decision to repeal the endangerment finding. It found greenhouse gases, including the carbon monoxide emitted from a car's tailpipe, pose a danger to public health. In repealing that finding, groups like the American Lung Association and the Union of Concerned Scientists allege the Trump administration is rehashing legal arguments that were already rejected in a 2007 Supreme Court case.
ABC's Mike Dubusky, I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Olympic Hot Tub Super Smart Top Special is here. Hey, it's Ryan Rowland-Smith. This is your chance to save now on your new hot tub and get a free Smart Top worth $3,700. Take it from me because I have one. Smart Top is the ultimate cover for your tub. Strong, long-lasting, and ready to defend your tub against northwest weather. Super Smart Top special savings will make you feel, well, super. Details at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life. Olympic Hot Tub.
Meet Jean. She calls Lavender Meadows in Sequim home. It's the kind of place where mornings feel unhurried, neighbors know your name, and life is meant to be enjoyed.
It's just the camaraderie. We have potlucks here, we have Thanksgiving here. I've made some very nice friends, and it's just a nice atmosphere.
Come home to Lavender Meadows in Sequim. Visit lavendermeadowsmhc.com to learn more.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. Governor Bob Ferguson says a proposed state income tax on million-dollar earners still doesn't go far enough to help working families. A day after the Senate approved the 9.9% tax on household income above $1 million, Ferguson said he wants stronger affordability measures, including expanded tax credits and additional relief for small businesses. The bill passed on a narrow vote in the Senate. It is now in the State House. City of Port Angeles officials asking residents to weigh in on plans to replace the Laurel Street stairs downtown. 2 design concepts will be presented Thursday, 6 p.m. at City Hall, and a survey to follow.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. A mix of rain and snow possible at times this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Daytime highs approaching 39. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Slight chance for a mix of rain and snow. Tonight, lows dip down to about 26. Cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 37 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Upper 30s Friday with a slight chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain. Turning warmer Saturday with highs in the mid-40s and scattered showers possible. A dusting of snow tonight. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 41 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome once again to the program. I'm going to spend the first half of the show today talking about real estate. Normally we have May Graves on to talk a bit about the markets and some numbers and things like that, but we're going to switch it up just a little bit. One of our colleagues, David James, joins us today, and we're going to talk about things you can do with your real estate to spiff it up, so to speak, make it a little bit more marketable. We always talk about some of the staging things and things to do, but this is the actual hammers and nails sort of stuff. David works with the Real Estate Market Pros and is also a builder himself. In fact, he was just telling me you're in the midst of constructing a duplex, right?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Todd.
Sure.
Pleasure to be here. Yeah, we're currently building a duplex here in town in Port Angeles, and working on several new projects as well. We're in the planning stage on as close to affordable housing as you can get on several projects.
Let's talk a little bit about that. You're specifically trying to, I don't call it's not spec building really, but it kind of sort of is, only in a different vein.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working, a lot of the focus on those is affordable or entry-level housing. That's kind of the primary target of what Port Angeles needs right now.
I'll use the duplex as an example. There are some incentives to do some of that work in the city. Did you guys take advantage of that?
There is, absolutely, yeah. Port Angeles has a program right now where they are incentivizing multifamily properties. So if you take a single family lot and divide it through either a duplex or a lot division like that, they will waive permit fees, which can be $20,000 to $30,000 per house.
It's significant then.
It is
So
very
now
significant.
I describe this current project just so people kind of you took was it an existing structure there already, or was it just raw land to start with?
Raw land, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, developing raw land, absolutely.
Okay. How long you been into this, by the way? I should have asked you that from the first.
Real estate, I got my real estate license in 2017.
Yeah.
I've been working in the field since then. Construction has kind of overlapped to some degree since for close to 20 years now.
Okay, so one must have invited you into the other. You must have been building for a while and thought, hey, this real estate thing might be something to do.
They definitely play off each other.
Yeah.
Real estate and construction are both obviously hand in hand. They are both very involved in the community, and it's kind of my calling in life, so definitely fits.
I think there's some advantage too, though. You're building it in kind of on the selling and building side of it in both senses, almost turnkey, I guess, right?
It is. I think really, I think it's a huge advantage to our clients because I give a unique perspective that they wouldn't get through a lot of other realtors. I know houses inside and out. I've been part of it, part of construction from every phase, from digging a foundation to putting a roof on and everything in between. And so that really gives our clients a leg up.
Yeah, kind of a lot of been there, done that you can share, right?
Very much, yeah. The stories we could tell.
From your perspective, though, someone who's building this, though, we hear this a lot, especially in Port Angeles, that there's no place to build, limited land, for example, things like that. What's your take on that?
Well, globally, it's true. They're not making any more land.
True, yeah.
And we're definitely landlocked here, up against a park on one side and the water on the other. So we have very limited land to build on, and it's going to take a lot of careful management and planning over the next couple decades or just going forward in general to kind of keep that growing at a sustainable and healthy pace.
So you're building a duplex, for example. There's been a lot of the push is multifamily here.
Yeah.
Still, a lot of people want a single family house, and that's kind of the yin and the yang in this as well. So is there room for both going on and going forward?
There is actually. There's a lot of room for both. I think multifamily has a really good spot in the construction landscape here. I think that single family also is ultimately going to always be desirable. One thing that we don't have a whole lot of here locally is any sort of like apartment building or larger scale multifamily. And that's where a lot of lower income or more affordable housing would come from. So that's something that hopefully as a community we work towards
From your
changing.
perspective, what would it take to get a developer to engage in that sort of construction?
Well, that's going to open a whole Pandora's box.
I don't mean to put you too much on the spot, but I mean, it has to pencil out. I mean, that's the main thing, right?
It is, and unfortunately, the cost to build right now is very near the cost of the resale value. And so just the increase in regulations, every time we increase efficiency in a house, while it's great, it causes a lot more cost to build. And ultimately that trickles down because, I mean, at the end of the day, you can only sell a house for what the market will pay, and no matter what it costs to build.
And I'll go back to a previous question too, and specifically about building these larger scale apartment buildings. Is there land to do that around here too? That's kind of a fight as well, right?
It's a huge fight. There's very little land in Clallam County in general that is zoned appropriately for that.
Right. And space, even if you do find it in a zone that it will work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So are we at a point in your perspective that this was to happen, people are going to either have to rehab or repurpose buildings that are already, maybe it was a commercial thing at one point, or even tear them down?
Yeah, that's something, there's been some discussions about changing some of our motels that are often vacant into low-income housing. So I think that's something that ultimately would benefit the community.
All right. You got any notion of getting into that kind of building or not?
We'll see what the future holds.
Got it. Never say never, right?
Never say
That's
never.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the perspective on things as well. I have to ask you, you're building this duplex. Probably, is it already, going to be spoken for? I mean, is it a quick sell or a quick turnaround in this case?
It'll go on the market here in about a month or two. We'll see.
And your feeling about it is?
They're basically entry-level houses, brand new construction, but in really nice shape and nice finishes. So,
and so you'll
hopefully
sell
they'll
that to somebody else who then will, I mean, you're going to sell that as a piece of real estate.
Yeah, it'll be two separate pieces of real estate.
Okay, so you're going to sell it twice. I'm going to say twice, but two things on that one spot. Somebody's going to buy half of it, other buddy's going to buy another half.
And that's the goal of the city's program, is to increase density.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears now. Thanks for indulging me there and your take on how we develop these properties, especially in Port Angeles. But we also have you here to talk about people that might be thinking about putting their property on online. This is the time of year when people start to make a decision.
It is, absolutely.
So,
the market kind of wakes up from basically Valentine's Day on. So we're right at the perfect time of year to start thinking about putting your house on the market.
So and I talk with May about this all the time when she's on. There are a lot of things people think they should do. They spend a lot of money doing it. It really is not worth doing.
Yeah.
Then there's some simple things that they don't do that they probably should be doing. So tell us kind of, I guess if I came to you and said, David, what do I do? What will make my house more appealing and perhaps sellable?
Absolutely. The quick, easy things are pretty basic. Pressure wash. You know, we're in the Pacific Northwest and we get a lot of algae growth, and just a quick pressure wash to clean off driveways, sidewalks, things like that. It helps a ton. Properties definitely look neglected if they're full of algae and moss growth. So that's a quick, easy way. Another thing is just some basic staging. Put a wreath on the front door, put some nice plants or things like that around. A big thing is clean up, get your stuff out of there.
Yeah, and I mean, almost a sparse look is the best look, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
The people, a prospective buyer wants to see the house, not your stuff.
Right. All your pictures, all of those things need to be long gone, right?
Yeah.
But that said, what about painting walls and things like that? Give us some advice about that, because sometimes you get into the spiff up, you think, well, we'll throw some paint on that wall, it needs it. But be careful what you choose, right?
Exactly. Well, number one, if you're going to do that, be careful of color choices. Make sure you choose something. We usually coach to put something neutral on that kind of will appeal to the masses. But also, you don't always need to paint. A majority of people, when they move, paint the interior of the house, or at least a few rooms, to kind of give it that personal touch and make it feel like home to them.
So what's your advice? Because you're dealing with a seller who says, boy, that thing looks terrible. I better paint that. How do you talk somebody down from doing that?
Absolutely. Well, the best advice I can give is to give Mayor I a call and let us come over and take a look.
Yeah.
And we can kind of walk you through that and case by case tell you what we think is the best course of action.
So sometimes a wall that might appear dirty or needing you had to scuffed or something like that, might be best to leave it alone.
Absolutely.
Because somebody else may come in there and say, I want to do something special with that.
Yeah, definitely. It completely depends on the situation. Sometimes cleaning up a wall will actually reveal more issues and open a can of worms. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
A list that May had sent over too had paint your front door as an idea.
Yeah, surprisingly, front doors are one of the biggest things impact-wise that you can change on your house. Whether it's just changing out the front door entirely to something a little more appealing, or just painting it. Anything that will affect the curb appeal of the house is pretty big on the punch list of things to do.
Okay. She said charcoal or navy are good choices.
They are.
Why so?
There's a statistic out there I saw that said a house with a black door will sell for something like 3% more than a house without.
Really?
I haven't tested it. I don't see enough houses with black doors.
I don't have one. I have it. But there's some advice. If you're thinking of selling your house, maybe go with a dark colored door.
It's something to consider. Absolutely.
Okay. Right.
Also, sometimes a really standout color like yellow, a bright yellow, can be a good color for a front door too.
I guess psychologically it makes sense. It's kind of you have both a physical and a literal and virtual entry.
Yeah.
When first thing you see. So I see.
Exactly.
And then she also put on these notes here, maybe you might consider just buying a new door. So this might be one of those things that a bit of an investment would work. When would you suggest buying a new door?
Exactly. If you have one of those doors that's been kicked and punched and beaten and banged into.
So this is one that if it's scuffed
years,
up, not like the wall we were talking about, this definitely is one you probably need to do something about.
It is.
Okay.
Front doors and garage doors, too, are really big on the hit list.
That was my next on the list, the garage door. So give us some advice on what works best for that.
Yeah, again, people love a nice insulated garage door. So if yours is kind of old and beat up, banged, maybe you've bumped into it with the car once or twice, consider maybe putting a new garage door on. Insulated garage doors definitely help sell houses.
Okay, so that's one of the ones where spending some bucks might get you back more.
It is. The problem is a lot of times in getting a house ready, you might spend, say, $10 getting the house ready, but you're only going to see 8 or 7 or something like that of it back. So there's a few places that you can put money, like front doors and garage doors, that will make a huge impact, and you should definitely get that money back.
So with that said, I'm going to throw this out there. This is a loaded question.
Yep.
People go nuts. I'm doing a new bathroom. That's not a good move, is it, necessarily?
Not necessarily. It depends on the situation. If you've got tile falling off the wall, it's probably a good thing. You'll get more money for the house.
But maybe, we've talked about this, maybe not do an entire bathroom remodel.
Exactly.
Maybe just get it
back
in shape.
Statistically, there's a lot of evidence that putting money into a house like that and doing a really nice bathroom remodel, even a really nice kitchen remodel, you're not going to get that money back.
You also run the risk of you're going to remodel it for you.
Exactly.
Right.
That's probably one of the bigger issues that we have is people will put a ton of money into a house to personalize it and make it their house, but then it doesn't appeal to any of the buyers.
Yeah. That's a tough thing. I mean, as you take a client through it, to get somebody, especially who's selling their house, to kind of think about letting go.
Exactly.
That not everybody's got your taste.
Exactly. Well, and we went through May and I went through a house recently. She's getting ready to sell, and she has just beautiful design choices, but she had quite a bit of stuff. And so before we did pictures, we had to ask her to take out a lot of that stuff. It was all very nice, but there's just a little bit too much. And when you're going through a house, walking through versus taking pictures and looking at it, it can be a lot different. And so you want to make sure that the picture looks clear and will appeal to the buyer.
Right. What I'm hearing you say, though, is helpful to have a third person. I mean, a third party, whether it's your agent, somebody else with some just different eyes taking you through that walkthrough, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, definitely. You get, they call it, what is it, smell blind when you have dogs. A lot of times you don't smell the smell of the dog. It's a lot the same with your house. You get used to seeing things in a certain place and you don't notice that it's cluttered. So a lot of times we'll even coach clients to just take pictures and look at the pictures because it looks different in the picture than it does
good point. Yeah.
looking at it.
All right. There are also some things you do. I love this. May gave us a list. She's all about the bling.
Yep.
But there's a little bling you can do on your front door, for example. She said like some new door numbers might be all you need.
Yeah, house numbers are huge.
Yeah.
Just any little thing like that, putting new mulch in your garden beds or just making sure your yard is nicely mowed and manicured is exceptionally important for pictures.
And some of that is not terribly expensive to do.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hire somebody to mow the lawn and kind of weed a few garden beds, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can, a couple $100 and you can get it done.
Definitely. And it makes a big impact.
Right. Also a new mailbox.
New mailbox
right?
is one, yeah.
That seems interesting because I'm thinking, well, are they going to like my mailbox I picked or not?
Yeah,
Give us some advice.
Exactly. We actually have a house that is closing soon that when we first walked into it, the mailbox had fallen off of the mail post. So it's just very simple things like that. It's literally the first thing you see when you go to a house generally.
Right.
It's the first thing you drive past. So making sure your mailbox looks good is an excellent first impression.
And in this day and age, you'd probably recommend somebody get a nice locking, secure mailbox, correct?
Exactly.
A
Something
little
that you can
upgrade,
slide
right?
the Amazon packages in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
And make sure the post looks good, too.
Yeah.
Don't just put a nice
absolutely.
new on a bad post, right?
Yeah. Don't prop it up with cinder blocks. And
What is the I love this one too. You mentioned a wreath or something, but a doormat might even be a wise investment. That $20.
Absolutely, yeah, even $10 at Costco. I've seen some recently.
Right.
No, absolutely. It goes back to that curb appeal. Just anything you can do to make the front of the house look a little bit better will help help quite a bit.
All right, from your construction perspective, take us kind of through what your, I guess, usual suggestions are when you walk through it in a place that's going on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. The things that I'm looking for as I walk through a house is just the fit and finishes. We look at the caulking finishes. Has it cracked, around the sinks or around the countertops? Is the paint chipping? Is there, has a dog been chewing on a door or on the trim? Just look for anything like that we need to address. That's kind of small things that are easy to repair, but will make a big impact and a big difference.
Okay. How do you help somebody through that? There can be some sticker shock. I think some people may think, I'm going to put my house on the market and,
Yep.
how much is too much, I guess, is the question.
Well, and that's a issue we run into a lot, is that somebody will be getting ready to put their house on the market, but they don't necessarily have the liquid assets or the funds to make those repairs. And so there's a lot of things we can do about that. We can work it into the deal. We can tell the buyer we're going to offer you a credit to specifically address this. We can keep the price a little lower. Say the house has an original roof is in okay condition, but we know it's at the end of its lifespan. We can price the house a little bit lower to account for that and help hopefully get it sold.
Right. And those are some bigger ticket items. I mean, new roofs, things like that, obviously. In a go-go market, if it's an up market, things are selling quickly. A lot of people say, why do I bother with any of this?
Absolutely. Well, that's one thing is year over year, we've actually seen a little bit of a reduction in prices from last year.
Yeah.
Last January to this January, prices, for example, in Sequim, last January, the average sales price was about $580,000. This year, average sales price is only $549,000.
Oh, okay.
In Port Angeles, last year was about $475,000. This year, we're only at about $425,000. So it could be, there's any number of reasons for that, but the market is definitely a little bit softer right now than it has been. However, interest rates are lower right now than they've been in the past 3 or 4 years, hovering right around 6%. And so that's bringing a lot of buyers back into play.
So those numbers may start to switch again back the other way, right? And especially we get into the spring, summertime when markets tend to heat up a little bit too, right?
Absolutely.
But what you're saying is, some of these small items that we just talked about could be the difference between tens of thousands of dollars in a sales price.
Absolutely.
It's hard to believe, but maybe a new mailbox and a doormat could get you $10,000 more on your sale.
It's a funny thing to say, but very simple, small things like that absolutely can.
Right.
Making sure the staging in your house looks good. It's
now let's talk about staging too. I know offer some of that. You have folks that you work with, and how important that is. It's been a long time since I sold a house, and staging wasn't even really a thing like it is now. It's almost to be expected, isn't it?
I think personally, I believe that a house looks much better online. Presents much better with staging in it. It just gives somebody a better canvas to paint the picture of what their life in the house would look like. It's hard sometimes to imagine if you have a house just full of everything, what your life would look in there, what your life would look like in there. And so I think it's a really good thing to just clear out that clutter and make sure it's staged well.
What if you're still living in the house though? That's kind of a different thing. If I'm out, you can clean it out, put all different furniture in, do anything you want. But then there's, most of us are still living in the place.
Absolutely. No, that's very fair. And that's a huge thing, a huge issue we run into a lot. What we advise in those cases is basically take out anything that you don't need to live. Imagine that you're moving, because that's what we're aiming to do, is get you out of the house and get you moving on to the next one.
Bare necessities really in there as well, right?
Yep.
And keep the dishes clean, all of that stuff, right? Because you never know.
Keep the sink empty and the trash out.
Right.
Yep.
What are your feelings about the market right now? Just from your perspective about where we're at.
I'm pretty optimistic about the market right now. I think that even though the numbers show a little bit of a slide in our market locally, I think that this next year has a lot of promise. We're seeing a ton of houses come on the market now. We're seeing a lot more buyers come out of the woodwork, and I think we're going to have a good year.
All right. And you're going to sell a duplex probably pretty soon.
I sure hope so, yeah.
All right, David.
Absolutely.
Great to talk to you. Thanks for coming in and pinch hitting with May.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Don't tell her that, but you did pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, David James works with May Graves, who's our real estate pro with the Real Estate Market Professionals. And quick phone number?
360-912-3315.
And as we say, give them a call. No obligation, but they love chatting about things like staging and painting the door and all of that sort of thing. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. Thanks, David.
Thanks
Good
for
talking to
having
you. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more on our show right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Spring cleaning? Downsizing? Turn your unused items into homes for heroes. Sarge's Veteran Support Thrift Store in Forks accepts donations of furniture, household goods, antiques, and collectibles, all to fund housing for veterans across the Olympic Peninsula. Call to donate today, 360-374-5252, or visit sargesveteransupport.org to learn more. Your generosity changes lives.
Hey friends, Pepper here, host of the Afternoon News. We have a new feature this winter for anyone who likes to play in the snow up at Hurricane Ridge. Each Friday afternoon, listen for the Above the Gate Weekend Ski Report. Get up-to-the-minute details on the weather forecast up top, snow conditions, and special events. The Above the Gate Weekend Ski Report. Fridays at 4:45 and 5:45. Presented by Mighty Pine Brewing and Angelus Tap Room.
At Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel, Mark Gustafson is precisely the professional you want helping your family during a time of loss.
Every morning when I get out of bed, I have one more opportunity to help a family in need that is grieving, that may be in a cloud, may not know what to do, where to go, who to talk to, and I'm here to help them through that and to be here every day for them.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Friendship and experience can be a real comfort.
When a loved one loses someone, it's a journey that they're going through. It's new territory, so to speak, and I'm able to be there to help them. And again, being hometown, I'm there with them all the way through it from start to finish.
Caring professionals when you need them most. Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel, 452-9701, and Squim Valley Funeral Chapel, 683-5242.
This is News Radio KONP.
The NPBA's 27th Annual Building and Remodeling Expo is February 21st and 22nd. Explore innovative products and services from over 30 vendors. Connect with industry experts. Discover latest trends in home improvement. And don't miss vendor demos on Saturday. The NPBA Building and Remodeling Expo, presented by First Fed and the North Peninsula Building Association, happening February 21st and 22nd at their new location in Port Angeles at the Vern Burton Community Center. Admission is free.
If debt has become a part of your story, maybe it's time for a new chapter. Connect with NFCC. We match you with trusted nonprofit credit counseling services to provide you a path to financial freedom. We're your sidekick that can make you feel like the main character in your story again. No judgment, no pressure. Just the advice you need on your terms. Visit nfcc.org/yourside or call 833-837-7698 to get started. NFCC, on your side, by your side.
Welcome back to the show. Philadelphia's Independence Hall has reopened after 4 months of renovations. ABC's Jay O'Brien got a sneak peek at the new old look inside the birthplace of America.
Independence Hall, the birthplace of the nation, where the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were debated and signed. A centerpiece of the American story nestled in the heart of Philadelphia.
This is one of those places you can't go.
We are here walking in the literal footsteps of the Founding Fathers. Wow. A trek back in time that can be a little precarious.
This is exactly what I wanted to see.
But for the right history nerd, exhilarating. Climbing these narrow steps up to the hall's steeple, going where the millions of people who visit every year can't. Unless you're Nicolas Cage in National Treasure.
This is incredible.
Step after step, and there we are. history you can reach out and touch.
This is unbelievable.
As the country prepares to mark its 250th anniversary, 2.5 centuries since the Declaration of Independence was adopted here in Independence Hall, the building is getting renovated, returned to how it looked in 1776.
It's so awe-inspiring.
And Carrie Dythorn, Independence Hall's chief curator, gave us an exclusive tour. What do you think when you stand in here?
I think about it's real. This is not imaginary, and the things that happened here and the people who worked here and who lived around here were real.
History is human, she reminds us. And preserving this building is an effort to safeguard who we are and where we came from. Those who put it all on the line right here for the mere idea that government could be of, by, and for the people.
Their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And when you come into this space and you remember that that's how they felt and that's what they thought about, this space just vibrates.
Think about it's 1776. It's packed in here. And out of that very human process, real people in this room, the foundational principle of this country is born. That's something else. That's really cool. That's really cool.
It was here Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and 53 others agreed on our values of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A radical idea from a country that at the time still had the institution of slavery and denied basic rights of citizenship to all who weren't white landowning men. It's a history we're still grappling with. In late January, the National Park Service removed an outdoor exhibit near Independence Hall telling the stories of 9 enslaved people held by George Washington at the site of his presidential home. But the ideas that began between these walls.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Step into Spoon Bar Suites in downtown Sequim, where everything feels just a little more magical. Their hand-scooped milkshakes are pure happiness in a cup, but the bakery case? Oh, that's where the love lives. Cookies that melt in your mouth, golden pastries, and cupcakes topped with clouds of frosting, all baked in-house with a whole lot of heart. Sit and relax inside with a cup of Rain Shadow coffee. Spoon Bar Suites, bringing a little extra sugar to your day every day.
You call one company, no answer. Another promises a quote, but never follows through. And when you finally get somebody, they show up late and their quality is suspect. Does this sound familiar? At Hartnagel Glassworks, we've heard how frustrating it is to find skilled, reliable help. That's why our employee-owned team shows up on time, does the job right, and treats your home with the care it deserves. You know us for window repair and installation, but our expertise goes far beyond that. We also install shower doors and enclosures, glass and cable railings, solar tubes and skylights, and we even sell and install exterior doors. Our customers trust us, and it shows. We have a 100% 5-star rating on Google. So when you're ready for reliable service from a team that shows up and gets it right, call Hartnagel Glassworks. Visit hbsglassworks.com, that's hbsglassworks.com, for more info. And as always, we deeply appreciate you for shopping local and employee-owned.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Northern California, search and rescue crews located the bodies of 8 backcountry skiers following the deadliest ski-related avalanche in U.S. history. 6 other members of that group survived. The avalanche risk in the rugged backcountry near Donner Pass remains. ABC's Trevor Ault is in Nevada City.
9 people had been missing from the beginning. There's still one that they have not been able to locate, but because of the ongoing threat here, this is something that could still take days before they're able to get the deceased off of the mountainside. The sheriff spoke extensively about the difficulties and also how they want to protect their search and rescue teams.
Tensions between the U.S. and Iran remain despite diplomatic talks this week on a possible nuclear deal. Oil prices shooting up today in trading. At the Milan Cortina Olympics, U.S. skier Michaela Schifrin won gold in the women's slalom today. It ends her 8-year Olympic medal drought. Competition for curling, speed skating, and hockey also taking place today. This is ABC News.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. A mix of rain and snow possible at times this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Daytime highs approaching 39. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Slight chance for a mix of rain and snow. Tonight, lows dip down to about 26. Cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 37 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Upper 30s Friday with a slight chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain. Turning warmer Saturday with highs in the mid-40s and scattered showers possible. A dusting of snow tonight. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 41 degrees.
In this segment, it's our Bacon Bit time. That's when our own Amanda Bacon sits down with some famous folks, talks to them about what's going on. Today, Allison Alford, who's the author of Good Daughtering.
Good morning, Allison.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a whirlwind, but I'm just feeling so privileged and blessed to bring this book to the readers and to be able to have conversations with you.
I love it. And as a daughter, I thank you for writing this book. So let's talk about your book, Good Daughtering. What prompted you to write this?
Yeah, what prompted me to write this was I saw a gap in the research, in the literature, in the material I was reading as a doctoral student getting my PhD. I saw a lot of conversation about how hard parents are working. I saw a lot of conversation about how difficult it is to be a spouse. And I saw a lot of even conversation about how much work it is to be a friend. And I thought of my own life, of course, because when you're studying things, you're thinking of yourself. And I thought, I live in a family of really amazing women who are doing a lot more than just wifing or friending. That's not what's happening here in this family. We are actively showing up to try to keep this family glued together. And so it really started with noticing the work of the daughters in my family and then kind of sending that out in the world and saying, well, let me research this and find out more.
When you started to reach out to people and, you're letting them know I'm writing a book on the importance of daughters and the burden that they do carry. And I don't say burden necessarily in a bad way at all. But were people kind of looking at you like, I've never thought about a daughter's role in the family?
It's a very common refrain, to say, I've never thought of daughtering or what even is invisible labor, But when you kind of metaphorically use some other example, like if you say being a parent, I'm a mom of 2 teenagers. If I say being a parent is hard, but I also love it, then people can say, okay, being a daughter is work. I've identified through my research, it is not only task work, like, showing up with a meal or boarding up their windows if a hurricane is coming. It's emotional work, like calling and checking and soothing and smoothing. It's logistical work, like planning vacations or organizing finances. And it's identity work, like carrying on the family name and the traditions. And so what we can notice from that is just like our other kinds of work, it takes resources, it's hard, it's effortful, but also I can like it and feel proud of it and be glad that I did it.
So you said you had a bigger family. Do you have other siblings in your family?
I do have an older sister. And, in the past couple of years, she's 2 years older. We've really had a lot of important conversations. And of course, that's the benefit of writing the book and doing the work. And she's one of my first readers. So she's leaned into these ideas and encouraged these ideas. But we had a big conversation maybe 2 years ago where we decided, okay, she's the logistical daughter and I'm the emotional daughter. And she lives near my parents, like on the same street. So she's able to be in person, to see them, to take them a meal, to go over if an issue pops up, right? And I'm not. But I was very lucky that she was able to see the value that I bring when I call and do a long phone call and I ask how they're feeling and thinking, and I ask about all the other family members and I listen to conflict issues, and I'm really grateful for that partnership together.
So what advice do you have for the only children? I'm an only child and a daughter. I get 2 crowns.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what did you see when it came to, obviously, when there's a group of siblings and an only sibling?
Mm-hmm.
Not, I guess, only child, not a sibling.
One of my very best friends is an only child, and I've known her since she was 8. And so I have both the privilege of having watched her grow up and do only child, only daughter things, but then also talking to her with a research mindset now that we're in our 40s and getting to kind of have this intimate relationship of someone who will share with me closely, but I also have seen so much. And so one of the things that I noticed about only children is there's both a privilege in that you get to decide and you don't have to have anybody else telling you what to do or messing up your work, but there's a big responsibility that weighs heavily on the only daughter, who needs to do all the logistical and emotional and the mental work, and really does have, I think, a lot of worries or concerns about the future when more caregiving behavior steps up. That's when they become elderly or ill, and you're thinking financial needs, and it's I think it's a mental burden that people with siblings aren't aware of, how that weighs on you across your lifespan. Would you say that's true for you?
Oh, definitely. There are times in my life where I've been so thankful I'm an only child. And then there have been times where I'm like, gee, a sibling sure would be handy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So who's the audience for your book? Because as I'm talking to you, it sounds like it's daughters, it's parents, it's the uncles, it's the everyone of the family needing to know who these matriarchs are, even if they're not the matriarch of the family.
Yeah. The book is for daughters, of course, but it's for anyone who loves a daughter, anyone who has a wife, has a daughter themselves, has a mother, because the book is really about understanding women in families. And being part of a family is such a privilege. It's such a backbone of our society that we rely on our families to hold us up, to support us, to, catch us if we fall. And I think we saw that a lot during COVID, right? That families are kind of that first line of defense for anything that's happening, whether it's that we need childcare or we need healthcare or we just need someone to vent to. And so the goal is to keep families connected. And what that means, though, is that we have to go through the fire a little bit of hearing daughters' experiences and then recalibrating what a good daughter and what a reasonable position of daughtering is in families. And we have to allow each other to kind of shift and change into that new space.
Allison, you're fantastic. I would love to chat with you more. I think this is a fantastic book. And I do encourage anyone who has a woman in their life to read this, because I think it gives really good insight into that. Allison Alford, Good Daughtering is your book. And
yes,
it is available now, right?
Yes, it's available now. And you can find out more about me at my website, daughtering101.com.
That's a fantastic website name. Were you so happy when you registered it and you're like, no one has registered this yet?
Yes, not only did I register it and got it everywhere, but I just got the trademark on it. So
that's
it's very
wonderful.
It's been a great experience. Yeah.
Just one real quick other thing. How are your parents dealing with this book?
My parents are super supportive. So one kind of key piece of information is my mom is a marriage and family therapist.
Love it.
And she did that in my adolescence and went and healed some family trauma. And so they have always said to me, tell your truth, go out there. So I feel like they're the healing backbone, that they want other families to be healed. So it's been great.
You're amazing. All right.
Oh,
well, take care of yourself and have so much fun doing this.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too, Allison. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You can catch Amanda's Bacon Bits on our website at our Radio Rewind section. Go to myclallamcounty.com, click on Radio Rewind. There you can check out all of our podcasts.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Now, a word from our friends at the Eagles Club in Port Angeles. You know, they're always looking for new members, and with membership comes some pretty big perks, like discounted cover charges for events, live music, discounted facility rental, a whole lot more. They got a great bar, great food and snack options every day, and the friendliest service around. The Eagles Club offers something every day of the week, and you know, it's football season, so check out Seahawk game day parties, 50-50s, paddle wheel, a whole potluck as well. Tuesdays, poker, 6 p.m. with a $20 buy-in. You must be signed in by a member. And Wednesdays, the Imperfectionists Music Jam Session is free. You got to be signed in by a member for that as well. Thursdays, Barstool Bingo starts up at 6 p.m. Sales start at 5:30. And Fridays, they have the Queen of Hearts raffle for members only with a current jackpot of over $8,000. Saturday evenings are for live music with some talented local bands. And on Sundays, they serve up breakfast open to the public, 9:30 until noon. Find out more by becoming an Eagles member today. Stop in or call 360-452-3344.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony Orchestra, inviting you to join me for a concert filled with romance and excitement, Saturday, February 21st at 7:30 p.m. at the Port Angeles High School Performing Arts Center. Violinist James Garlick will be our soloist for Samuel Barber's beautiful violin concerto. The program also includes Aaron Copland's evocative Quiet City and ends with Antonin Dvorak's powerful Seventh Symphony. The concert is Saturday evening, February 21st at 7:30, with a pre-concert chat for ticket holders at 6:30. There will also be a public dress rehearsal at 10 a.m. that morning. Tickets are available online at portangelessymphony.org, at Port Book and Muse, at the door, or by calling 457-5579. See you at the Symphony.
Step into Spoon Bar Suites in downtown Squim, where everything feels just a little more magical. Their hand-scooped milkshakes are pure happiness in a cup, but the bakery case? Oh, that's where the love lives. Cookies that melt in your mouth, golden pastries, and cupcakes topped with clouds of frosting, all baked in-house with a whole lot of heart. Sit and relax inside with a cup of Rain Shadow coffee. Spoon Bar Suites, bringing a little extra sugar to your day every day.
Is it time for new asphalt paving for your dirt, gravel, or damaged driveway? There's one place to call: Lakeside Industries, the community-minded asphalt paving professionals serving the community since 1982. You see them all around Clallam County working major city, county, and highway projects. Did you know Lakeside does residential and commercial grading, paving, and stormwater too? No asphalt paving job is too small. Just call 452-7803 for a free estimate.
Finally today, Brad Milkey from ABC's Start Here podcast joins us, talking with Patrick Reevell as they ride with London police amid a phone snatching crackdown in the UK.
Americans have a lot of problems. We face lots of threats. But in general, pickpocketing is not one of them. In Europe, it's a whole thing. In fact, it's such a big issue that some locals have started following pickpockets around and shouting at them. Like this lady from Venice went viral on TikTok a while back. Part warning to tourists, part public shaming.
Attenzione, pickpocket!
But my favorite videos to watch are the ones of European pickpocketers suddenly realizing, whoops, I just tried to jack an American. Last year, also in Venice, one American woman was seen grabbing the hair of a young alleged pickpocketer and refusing to let go.
You stole my purse with my passport in it. Police!
Oh, yeah.
Little girl, I have 8 kids. You're not getting to me.
There are accounts of American athletes chasing down pickpockets on foot. Stories of violent incidents where the pickpocketer, not the American victim, ends up running away bloodied. But while it might be possible to chase down someone running on foot with your wallet, something has changed in London that has transformed it into the phone-snatching capital of Europe. Patrick, have you ever been pickpocketed?
That's a good question, Brad, and I was very nearly phone snatched in London.
This is ABC's Patrick Reevell, who's based in London, where it's no longer just pickpocketing. Now, in recent years, there's been an explosion of cases in which usually men drive up and brazenly snatch your phone right out of your hand.
I'd come out of a tube station, I had my head buried in my phone, writing an email, and a guy swooped past me very, very close on a bike.
That right there is the difference maker. You got these roving bands of thieves now on motorbikes, electric scooters, weaving their way through crowded pedestrian thoroughfares and jacking phones.
They're called Saurons. They're basically like dirt bikes. They look like dirt bikes, but they are electric. They're very agile, they're very fast and powerful.
Many Londoners will tell you they now think twice before even holding their phone in public. Taking a quick selfie on the street or making that FaceTime call with family members? No, you'll quickly be noticed and targeted, especially in these European plazas filled with pedestrians and scooters alike.
The average number of phones being recorded stolen by the London Metropolitan Police is around 100,000 a year.
With numbers like that, local London officials have come under pressure, and now they say they're cracking down on it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for taking us with you.
So we were invited along by the London Metropolitan Police one afternoon to see some of the new tactics.
Yeah, so the area we are is the number one hotspot in London.
It's right in the centre, close to Parliament.
Yeah.
We were with two undercover officers in an unmarked car, taking part in a 4-week operation.
So they just got a report of an e-bike going at high speed, so they've turned on the blue lights. We're now headed over there to see.
Patrick says sure enough, they caught a suspect on a bike suspected of taking phones. That led them to another guy nearby who they checked for telltale equipment.
For example, one giveaway apparently is tinfoil.
Multiple phones, straight away they get wrapped in tinfoil to prevent tracking.
But even this ride-along reveals why curbing the problem is so tough. These bikes are so maneuverable, so slippery to law enforcement, that these operations require 3 to 4 police cars just to chase one down. So, police are adjusting.
And I think we're only now starting to catch up.
They basically have taken a page out of the thieves' books, and now police have their own powerful electric motorbikes, their own powerful dirt bikes, that allow them to chase after the thieves, go down alleys.
They've also started using drones that can locate the thieves and communicate with cops down on the ground. But perhaps the clearest indication of how desperate authorities have become here is that they've changed their rules of engagement.
And say you catch up with a phone thief on their bike, what do you do?
Sometimes they come off of their own accord. They might crash. Sometimes we might have to use a tactic which we refer to as tactical contact, which means we use our vehicle to strike them, to hit them, drive into them.
London officials say the renewed attention has already had an effect. Reports of stolen phones fell by about 10,000 last year, but that's still just a fraction of the total thefts. What's ironic about this, Patrick says, is by many metrics, London has never been safer. Homicide rates are at record lows, and yet when thefts like this are sky high, you don't feel safe. You feel on edge.
In reality, the city is safer, much safer than it has been decades ago, but this phone snatching is vastly up, and that gives this sense, and rightly, a sense of insecurity.
That's bad news if you're a local politician.
Listen, a lot of people across the globe believe some of the myths about our city, and we're determined to bust those myths.
So we met with London's mayor, Sadiq Khan. He's from the left-wing Labour Party, and he has become the focus of pretty frequent attacks from President Trump himself as well as his allies.
So we saw last year a record in terms of the fewest homicides on record since records began on a per capita basis. Knife crime injury is down. Serious violent crime is down. Yes, we've made progress reducing the thefts of mobile phones, but they're still too high.
Beyond the streets, there's more to be done. Most of these phones end up in Africa or other foreign countries where they're easier to unlock and reuse. Police want phone makers to make that process more difficult. Larceny is often more prevalent in communities where people have fewer economic opportunities. But in the meantime, Patrick says, come, enjoy the safety of London. Just take a few mental pictures before you yank out the phone for the real ones.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
The Elks Riders invites you to celebrate Mardi Gras Saturday, February 21st. Come party at the Naval Elks Lodge. We're raising needed funds for a homeless veteran. Enjoy great music, dancing, and party games. Plus Cajun bites.
Plan on joining the fun? Search Events at the Elks on Facebook
or purchase at the door.
Come celebrate Mardi Gras with us at the Naval Elks Lodge, Saturday, February 21st, presented by the Naval Elks Riders.
During the Swain's President's Day sale, stop in and browse deals in almost all departments. Grundon's men's flannel shirts and outerwear are all 40% off. Men's and women's Timberland Pro work boots and shoes are 20% off. Stock up on your winter weather gear like Grabber hand warmers. A pack of 10 is only $5.87, and the Expedition snowshoes and trail kit is on sale for just $69.87. All this and more at Swain's during the President's Day sale.
The Building and Remodeling Expo is this weekend in their new location at the Vern Burton Center in Port Angeles. Returning this year to the expo is the Building Block Challenge, free for ages 5 to 12, offering great prizes. Pre-register today as space is limited. Go to npba.info to register. That's npba.info. See you at the NPBA Building and Remodeling Expo this weekend at Vern Burton Center in Port Angeles.
Fair weather turns our thoughts to outdoor projects. Hi, this is Clallam PUD, and we want you to be safe so you can enjoy the results of your hard work. It's easy. Call 811 2 business days before any work involving digging so underground utilities can be properly located and marked. Visit clallampud.net for more safety tips about outdoor projects and more. Clallam County PUD, bringing energy to life.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A+ rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
For almost 100 years, St. Joseph's Indian School has nurtured Native American children in mind, body, heart, and spirit, turning the spark in every child into a lifelong flame and a brighter future. Light a spark today at stjo.org.
Your voice, your news. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, AM 1450, FM 101.7 and 101.3, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. and Iran have both signaled progress was made in this week's diplomatic talks on a nuclear deal, but tensions remain. The U.S. ramping up its military presence in the region, and an Iranian news agency now says Iran and Russia will hold a joint naval drill in the region tomorrow.
The White House isn't setting a timeline for negotiations with Iran, but Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said there was, quote, a little bit of progress made during the indirect talks this week, though she added that the two sides remain very far apart on some issues.
The Iranians are expected to come back to us with some more detail in the next couple of weeks, and so the president will continue to watch how this plays out.
Leavitt would not set any deadlines for Iran, but said diplomacy remains the president's first option. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
In Northern California, a grim update for the missing backcountry skiers following yesterday's avalanche in the Tahoe National Forest. Nevada County Sheriff Shannon Moon says rescue teams found 8 skiers deceased, and they're still looking for the 9th missing skier, but the avalanche risk is high.
It's a very remote, rugged area on the north side of the highway there. It is not a groomed area or a ski resort area. This is a backcountry area, rugged terrain.
The sheriff calls it the deadliest ski-related avalanche in the U.S. history, triggered by a winter storm that dumped more than 4 feet of snow yesterday. 6 other skiers with the group were rescued last night. In Arizona, the search continues for Nancy Guthrie. Teams also using high-tech to locate possible signals from Guthrie's pacemaker. ABC's Aaron Kotursky is in Tucson.
Investigators are using technology called Blue Fly that can trace signals from Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker as they canvass by drone, helicopter, and on foot. So far, no sign of the pacemaker.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News the FBI reached out to Mexican authorities about her disappearance, but added there is no evidence the 84-year-old was taken across the border. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
A passenger on a Delta flight today from Houston to Atlanta became unruly and began attacking others on board. Passenger Amber Ward telling ABC station WSB the man started punching everybody before he was restrained by other passengers.
He started snatching up this one guy in the window seat. He was yanking him by his shirt, his hair, and it took like 8 guys on the plane to get him off of that guy. And they had to sit on him, and we had to turn the plane around and go back to Houston.
According to audio from Broadcastify, the passenger tried to access the cockpit, but in a statement, Delta said the unruly passenger did not try to get into the cockpit. Meta and Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg taking the stand today in a lawsuit trial in Los Angeles accusing social media companies of making its platforms addictive for young users. The plaintiff, who is now 20, says when she was younger, she got hooked on social media and it contributed to her anxiety, depression, and body image issues. More from ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
In a statement, Meta says that the evidence will show she faced many significant, difficult challenges well before she ever used social media. We did see in testimony last week, Instagram's boss pointed to safety features for young users, but the plaintiff's lawyers say that those safety features have had little impact.
It's the first time Zuckerberg has gone before a jury on the issue. Another round of heavy rain and snow continuing to